after living in the Netherlands for a few years now, it's only natural that I pick up a couple of habits. And to be honest, I'm still picking up habits. But funny enough, I found the recent ones that I've been picking up a bit strange. Uh-oh, here's my train. Here's my train coming. What's funny about the recent habits that I picked up is I noticed a lot of them are like fairly frugal. Like, I don't know how or why I picked them up. It's not like people told me about these things. It's just things that I started to do. And like the first one literally being unplugging things that I'm not using. And this is just something that just started happening. Like, it's really strange, but literally when I'm not using something, I unplug it, or I can turn it off. Because a lot of the things I have in my house, like these extension cables and things, they have buttons that you could just turn off the electricity to these things. So that's what I do. I just turn it off when I'm not using it, turn it back on when I am using it. Oh, gotta make sure we ain't going down a naughty street. But yeah, I do tend to do this off thing. My wife doesn't like it that much because she's like, why is this unplugged? So she doesn't like it, but I do unplug it, like for real. I don't know why. I'll unplug it or turn it off. My wife goes into using, she'll be like, why is this not working? Think it's broke. Nope, it's because I unplugged it. Something else too is that I don't use like AC or heat. Like I rarely use heat. I do use it, but I don't turn it up like I used to. You know what I mean? I'm not just like cranking up the heat. I would rather just put more clothes on or get under a blanket, something. But as long as it's not freezing for my kids, because my kids are good, there's no point of turning up the heat. And like legit, we'll leave the heat set for one temperature and just, that's it. Like, it is what it is. We don't turn it up, we don't turn it down. We just leave it. I mean, well, we do turn it down, but we'd never turn it up. And then AC, I mean, I don't even know what AC is anymore. And I'm being dead serious, man. AC has been completely wiped from my vocabulary. Like, because there's no point. I mean, that's what windows are for. Anytime I get a little warm or something, open a window. Even when it's cold, I will open up a window. I mean, I am addicted to this whole open up a window thing. And now, to be fair, AC's not really a thing here. I'm gonna just super say it. It is not. And I like it that way though. And I'm being dead serious too, because even when we were just in the States about a month ago, I wasn't rushing to turn on any AC, not in the car, not in the apartment we rented, nothing. Like, it ain't that serious to me. Like, I don't need it. I would rather open up a window or put on more clothes. Like, it was like that this last trip in Florida, and it was like that when I went to Atlanta too. And it was hot a couple of times when I was in Atlanta. Those couple of days, it was a bit toasty, but why would I need to turn on AC? Like, there's no point. Like, just dress appropriately. Like, it legit almost seems like using AC is just a hassle. It's more of a hassle, plus it's wasteful, and it costs money. Nah, like, I'm good. Like, look at that. There's a waffle place right here, and then another waffle and crepe place right there. Like, they're just neighbors hugging the block together. And now, if you can't tell, I am in Amsterdam today. I went and had lunch with a friend, and yeah, we're just getting a quick walk in, because I ain't gonna lie, my hands are cold. So I'm gonna get a quick walk in real quick, and then head back to the station and head home. I was in the office and legit just stopped to go meet a friend. That's it. And actually, you guys probably know this dude, Sam from Exploring the Foreign. That's who I met up to it today. Oh snap, I think I see the little car. Oh, I just missed it. But you know what's crazy is how cold it is here in Amsterdam today versus Harlem. Harlem was not that cold. I ain't need my gloves in Harlem, but I need my gloves here in Amsterdam. Holy cow, it's cold. Actually, no, I went ahead and decided to just go ahead and turn back and start heading back to the station, which is this way. But while I head back to the station, I do have to say, something else that I don't do, well, not don't do, but something else that I do would have to be not putting my eggs in the refrigerator anymore. Like, I noticed, it's so funny. I noticed when I was in the States, I was in a grocery store. I went to Kroger, and I noticed how everything is refrigerated or everything is frozen. Like, it kind of creeped me out a bit, because it wasn't even like the Kroger was huge and like that. But I would say half of the store had refrigerated stuff or frozen things in this store. Like, half of the store was like this. Versus when I compare it to here, there's maybe like a section of frozen goods. Like, it's just one section, one side section. So when I was there in Florida at this Kroger, low-key looking for eggs, I couldn't find them, and I realized they were in the refrigerator. And now look, I don't know if this is good or bad. All I know is that the eggs here are not refrigerated. And when I went to the States, it was a bit trippy because, again, I kind of stopped refrigerating my eggs. My wife still kind of puts them in the refrigerator, but I just leave them out on the counter. Like, why not? Because they don't really need to be refrigerated, but I don't know. Like, let me know in the comments below if eggs need to be refrigerated. I mean, I'll probably just Google it on a train. And something else though too that has to do with food is the fact that I don't really go by expiration dates anymore. And now I know that might sound weird. I don't know if that's like I don't know if that's a Dutch thing or what, but expiration dates are non-existent to me because one, I got a good sense of smell, and two, I also got a good eye. So what's funny is I didn't even realize this until my wife brought it to my attention because I had bought some meat for like to make sandwiches with, and my wife was getting ready to throw it away. And I was like, "What you doing?" Like, and she said, "Oh, well, it's past the expiration date." And I was like, "Honey, let me give it a good sniff." I gave it a good sniff, and it was Gucci. And look, I came to the conclusion that expiration dates, they're more of suggestion. Because matter of fact, on the other side of it too, my wife would be trying to eat things that smell terrible because she just don't have a good sense of smell like I do. I'm like, did you not smell this? Like, why are you eating this cream? Like, no joke. I had to stop my wife a couple of times from eating something or feeding it to our kids because the smell was so bad. But she's going off the expiration date. So I think personally the expiration date, I think is just a suggestion because sometimes, look, I brought this up before that also bread sometimes has expiration dates on it too, but it goes bad before the expiration date. So you can't really like, you gotta, I just use my common sense, my smell, and my good eyes. Side note though, why is it so busy today? It is like freezing and all these people are outside. Look, even behind me, it's like so many people out. And it's like cold like a mug. Like, it is really cold. You know what? I think they're probably gonna keep this thing up. This thing has been up there. It's been here for a minute. They might as well just keep it up. Might as well. Oh, dang. I thought it would be here. It's not. Oh, I just checked the time too. I just missed it. I'd like literally, I could see it. I just missed it by maybe a minute. And well, since I missed my train and now I gotta take the stinky Sprinter down here, I will say something else that has changed that's well, actually, no, I don't know, because it's something that we used to do a lot when I was a kid with my grandmother in Chicago. But something I've noticed that I started to do is I start to pack lunches and I bring things with me. My friend, when I told him about this, he said, "Oh, you mean bring your own bread?" Oh, it's a bunch of people coming off this train. All right, guys, squeeze through, squeeze through. But yeah, man, he said bring your own bread. So look, I don't know what that means, but let me know if you do, because to us, it's just like, this was something that we did as kids, and mainly we did it because we didn't have any money. But yeah, this is something that we actually used to do as kids. I didn't know it was actually called a thing. Like when some of my friend was like, bring your own bread, I was like, what is bring your own bread? But yeah, this is just, we just bring our own food. It's not like I don't have money, but it is just something that I tend to do now with my kids as we'll go to museums, we'll go to the zoo. I always pack food for them. We hardly ever just not bring anything and buy everything there. So that is something that I have definitely started doing maybe within like the last 2 years. And I really like it to the point where it's almost like when I was younger, buying stuff at the place was something special versus, because usually we would always bring our own thing. So when we did buy something, it was something nice about it. Oh man, see that? This is like, I don't know why it was so cold in Amsterdam. I went and took off my gloves and everything because you don't need them. Apparently this is like a Dutch thing and I had no idea. Look, growing up poor, this was something that we just did. Like, you're not even allowed to take food and candy stuff into like movie theaters, right? But I remember when we went to the movie theaters, I remember seeing the Ninja Turtles, for example, and Aladdin. I remember when we would go to the movie theaters because it was like a big deal for us. So when we would all go with my grandmother, my sisters, and my uncles, man, we would pack chicken, sandwiches, candy, everything. We would even bring our own popcorn. And I'm gonna be real, this was I mean, a lot of people who didn't have money did this, and it was seen as like basically it's basically ghetto when you do something like that. Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing here because it was just something that I just like to do because it's nice to have our own things, set up a picnic, and I think like one of the things we will buy though is like apple sap. So that's like a nice little treat, and maybe like a donut. Man, what's so funny though? I'm like tripping because I did not know this was a Dutch thing. I had no idea. I thought it was a poor thing. Because man, I'm telling you, we only did it because we had no money. Like every time we did this when I was a kid, you weren't really allowed to do this in places. I did not know this was like a Dutch habit. Had no idea. But also it makes sense because I noticed that when we would be at the zoo, for example, even at other places in museums, they had like, we weren't the only people doing this, and there were like sections so you could like sit down. Like, yeah, it just seemed like a normal thing to do. I just didn't know it was a Dutch thing. And now for today's coffee, I did pull up at Cafe de Paris, and I really like this place. The only reason I don't come here that often is because it's usually packed outside. But today, I guess I just missed the lunch crowd, so I can sit down, chill, and have a cappuccino. And now, while we go ahead and grab our honey to make this a Skypuccino, I do have to say something else that I have picked up that it's also something that I haven't really thought about until recently, and that is eating veggies like raw. And literally what made me think about this was when I was in Detroit and I had a hard time finding like just fresh produce to eat on the go. I was trying to just have something for a snack, and you go to all these corner stores, these little small grocery stores, and there is like no fresh produce. It took forever to find a banana. I went to 7 or 8 places and I barely found a banana. And that's what made me realize when I came back was just how much fresh produce I actually eat. Because I'm not gonna lie, I did not used to eat fresh produce in the States. I just didn't like, I don't know, it just didn't taste good, so I would always have to eat the veggies and things with something like hummus or crackers or something. But here, nope. Like I will eat cucumbers raw. I even eat broccoli raw. Like I eat tomatoes raw. Like I will just go in on these veggies. And this is legit something that I've recently, I would say the last 3 years has picked up. And I like this habit. This is like a great habit to have. Because also too now, my kids eat raw like veggies. Like we'll just eat tomatoes versus like I'm telling you in the States, I would never eat something like a tomato raw because for me, it had to be in like a sandwich or a burger. If it wasn't in none of that, I was not eating it. That's a good cappuccino. But it's a bit cold. I waited too long. I was too busy talking, getting the camera all ready, and that's my fault. But anyway, look. Y'all want to get down on this cookie? Go ahead. I'm going to put that right there. There we go. Y'all got some? Go ahead. Open up. Wait, just say what's up real quick, Sam. Oh, man.
Sick, man. It's really good quality.
Yeah. Man, I missed this guy.